Hey everybody, it's Jason Creel and this is the Lawn Care Life. Today I'm going to talk to you about yard signs. I'm going to show you the yard signs that I use and talk to you about my theory behind yard signs, how they worked for me. So let's get started. Let me show you the yard sign I use for my company. You can see here, I think it looks good. It's got good color to it. Got my logo on there, phone number, website, and that's basically it. Now there's a lot of things you can do to a yard sign, but I want to talk to you about, if you should be using them or not. And these people ask me, where do you get your signs? These come from turfsigns.com. The reason I use those guys, I had bought from a different company when I first started my weed control and fertilization business, and the quality wasn't there. When it rained, the signs would droop over. So the turf signs, the way it was explained to me, it's kind of like milk carton material, so they just hold up really good in the weather. I mean, for a couple months they won't droop. I mean, they may fold in a little bit, after 2 months, but I'm saying they hold up for a while. They may start to fade after 6 weeks or so, but really good quality signs, and that's why, in my opinion, it's worth paying a little extra to get the quality. I didn't want to have a cheaper price but have something that was gonna fold up and look terrible after the first rain, or sometimes even after the dew got on it. So, but just in general, let's talk about using these yard signs, turf signs, whatever, for your business. Does it make sense? What do you do for it? Now, if you're doing weed control and fertilization, some states are going to require you to have this in the lawn. It's by law. Now, where I live in Alabama, we're not required to do that, but I do it for the other reason that most people do it, and that's a form of advertising. So I do it for advertising, but also as a way to let the customer know I've been there. If you're mowing grass and somebody leaves for the day, a customer, and their grass has not been mowed, and they come home and their grass has been mowed, it's pretty clear that you've been there. But sometimes when you're doing weed control and fertilization, it's not as obvious that somebody's been to their house that day. So the sign lets them know, hey, somebody's been to your house today doing a lawn care treatment. Now maybe you might notify them before you come, but sometimes you don't. And then for me, I hang the invoice on the door usually, so they'll know, okay, the invoice is hanging on the door, and everything is explained on the invoice as far as what to do from there. What about advertising? Because like I said, that's just one purpose, is to let the customer know I've been there. Sometimes some states might require you to have something on there saying pesticides applied today. What about if you're in the mowing business? Is there a reason to do these? Well, let me tell you kind of my thought behind the turf signs and why I do use them, even though it's not required by law. For me, and I've talked about this before, when I'm looking at gaining customers, there's some things I'm doing marketing wise, or have done in the past, where I'm looking to convert somebody on the spot. If I put a door hanger on a door, I'm wanting to convert them on the spot. I'm wanting them to look at that door hanger and say, oh wow, I need a lawn care service, I'm gonna call. But with the signs, that's not really the point of it for me. Now, occasionally I do get a call where somebody says, hey, I saw your sign at my neighbor's house and I wanted to give you a call to get you started on my lawn. But that's not the main thing I'm looking for. The other thing I think advertising does, and this is what I look at the turf signs for, is it is a form of branding your company, of forming a brand that is in the community, the recognizable name. And so what happens, it may be doing that on a small scale. It may be becoming a recognizable name in a specific neighborhood. So let's look at it this way. Let's say you're doing working on a neighbor's yard, and you've had that customer for a year, and you're putting a sign in there every time you come. Now for me, doing weed control and fertilization, I'm doing 7 applications a year, so 7 times a year the neighbors are seeing that sign in the yard. Now let's just say that yard looks really, really good, better than some of the other neighbors who may have no lawn service, or maybe a competitor's lawn service, whatever. Well, it's pretty easy for them to know who's doing the lawn if they see the sign. Now, that can work against you if the yard looks terrible. They say, oh man, the yard looks terrible. Just a note, and this is what was taught to me, and I think it was good advice. Sometimes you have a brand new lawn that's full of weeds, or just looks bad because you hadn't had time to get it shaped up. You might not want to stick the sign out there just for everybody to see. You might kind of stick it up by the front door, even in the backyard if you have to I'm just saying, you might want to publicize if it's not your best looking yard. But if people start seeing signs all over the neighborhood that have your company name on it, then when they get ready to make a change or get ready to hire a lawn service, it's been branded in their mind. You look at companies like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, I mean, are they advertising to get some quick conversion? Like when I see a McDonald's commercial, do I drop what I'm doing and drive to McDonald's? No, but it's that long-term branding to where when I get hungry, if I'm out on the road, they want me thinking of McDonald's where to go. Now that has, you know, may or may not work, but that's what they're trying to do. Same thing, I'm wanting to put this image, who's the local lawn company? I'm wanting to switch. You know, wait, I keep seeing that sign at my neighbor's yard and it looks very good. So when, you know, for me, when I want to have hundreds of these all over town, now some people throw them away and that's fine. I don't, you know, I'm not asking people to leave them in their yard for months. It's mostly to let them know I've been there. But it can convert on the short term, but more importantly, in my opinion, it helps establish your brand long term and give your company recognition in the community. You can also put special offers on there, you know, $25 off your first cut, or $25 to you and to your referral if you call us, or and the Turf Signs people, they got their own graphic team, so they can make you up some kind of character to represent your brand. If you want some superhero out there terminating the weeds or whatever you want to do, that's fine, they can do that for you. One final thought, these marketing people, they get all into like design and logos and colors and stuff. Mine has some green and also some yellow in it. You know, if I had to do over again, I may change it at some point. I may change up the color scheme a little bit. I'll say this though, I saw we've got some mustard in our refrigerator. I had to tell my wife the other day that that was regular mustard because it was in a black bottle. I said, that's bad marketing in my opinion. You don't put mustard in a black bottle, it needs to be in a yellow bottle. Well, you know, mine's got green. The problem is everybody's has got green on it. So I think in some ways you might want to do something a little bit flashier that stands out a little bit more. I'm not saying hot pink or whatever, but just something that's not just, look here, mine's green sign with my name on it, because you know what, it just really doesn't stand out. So that's just something to consider. I'd like to hear from you if you're mowing lawns, have you used Turf Signs, if that's worked for you, or doing weed control. What's been your success in using them, or has it not worked for you? Let me hear from you in the comments. Appreciate you watching the video. I've got a lot of videos. If you're new to the channel, you can hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot. Bye.